Hi, my name is Mike Hiley, and I am the founder of Hiley Solutions. Today, I want to present to you a video that I did a couple of months ago, and you'll see that from my haircut, where I talk to you about the 5 big mistakes that professional services companies like yours make when they are implementing ERP systems or any other big IT transformation program. Now, if you are implementing a new system, then I really do recommend that you watch it. And these 5 mistakes are actually ones that I've picked up over my 25 plus years of experience of working in ERP implementations with professional services companies. I hope you enjoy it.
So system implementation is like setting the foundation of a building. If it's shaky, then you're setting yourself up for issues down the line. But if it's done correctly, it can significantly improve your operations and bottom line. So let's get started. So the first up is inadequate planning. We often hear fail to plan, plan to fail, but actually it's particularly true when it comes to system implementations. Just Google the term percentage of ERP projects that fail, and you will see study after study from prestigious organizations that show that most projects end up being over budget and fail to meet their requirements. Typically, I've seen it to be between 50 and 75%. And the main reason is inadequate planning. The fix is simple. Spend time properly planning and addressing the 6 project constraints. And if you don't know what they are, it's scope, it's budget, it's time, it's resources, it's quality and risk. And the final 2 are actually really, really important to bear in mind. The next item is business as usual. Now, your business is not in the business of implementing systems. So it's likely that most of the team has a day job, which we call BAU, business as usual. So they need to fit the project responsibilities around BAU. Client demands have to take priority. I mean, that's the bread and butter of your business. But don't let that be at the expense of key team members not having enough time to dedicate to the project. I've seen multiple system implementation projects postponed and overrun and have cost overruns simply because the business did not have the time to implement the software, or worse, they did implement the software, but did it poorly, and the implementation was a disaster. You need to identify the team early, make the implementation project a priority, and if necessary, actually backfill the roles. This may seem like an additional cost in the short term, but believe me, the rewards are well worth it. Something related to BAU is insufficient testing. Now, skipping through the testing is actually like walking on thin ice. You're just asking for trouble. It's tempting to watch the implementation consultant demonstrate the functionality and think, well, I can see it work, so I'll just assume it's going to work for me. I mean, we've been brought in many, many times to clients to fix, or what they call fix, an implementation that has apparently gone wrong. And it turns out the issue was the system just wasn't adequately tested. Actually, the big telltale sign is if the implementation seems to be going really, really smoothly through all of the phases, and then all of the issues suddenly appear after the software is launched or has gone live. The main aim of testing is actually to find all the issues and fix them before you go live. I like to use the analogy, it's easier to change the wheel on a car that you can stop whenever you want than one that needs to keep moving because it's a fully implemented ERP system. The fix is quite easy. Always conduct extensive testing before going live. And that means creating a test plan, creating test scripts based on your current processes. It means simple things like taking your last week's work and replicating it in a new system, or even better, just taking the last project you worked on and replicating it in this system. Document all the issues and follow up and confirm they are fixed before signing off and moving to the next stage. Again, it's important you do that because just because the software supplier says it's been fixed doesn't mean it's actually fixed for you. And therefore, you need to test it again and make sure everything is fine. Mistake number 4 is poor communication. For a successful implementation, you need to have very clear communication channels. Some professional and service industries, and you know who you are, like to work in silos and are unaware of what other teams or other groups are doing. In fact, they have no idea. They have separate processes and so on and so forth, and then realize they've got overlapping responsibilities, which need to be addressed in a new system implementation. Another issue that we see actually related to communication is that many companies don't actually think it's that important to let the team know that they're about to change systems. So then there's a lot of recriminations when the team is surprised and unprepared when the new system comes in. What you need to do, obviously, to address this is identify all the stakeholders right during the planning process and create a clear communication plan that addresses their communication needs. Don't forget stakeholders like clients and vendors because they're really, really important. If a client gets an invoice or doesn't get an invoice, or a vendor does, isn't paid for whatever reason, again, you can have a bunch of different problems. Use multiple communication channels. So that doesn't just mean emails. You can use newsletters, videos, intranets, Slack channels, and so on and so forth. In fact, studies show that it takes on average 7 touch points before a message is received by the recipients. So you can't over communicate. Somewhat related to communication, and the last of the 5 key issues that we found with implementations is resistance to change. People are naturally resistant to change, and a new system definitely falls under that category. Anticipate this by involving all the team members in the decision-making process and explaining the new system's benefits to everyone involved. Analyze the stakeholders and gauge their resistance to change. Leverage the ones that are actually relishing the change and help them to persuade the others. And also explain the change curve to the team at the beginning, at the outset of the project, and remind them about it during the project to make sure that they understand that it's natural to be skeptical and to have reservations about the new system. Anyway, so there you have it, the top 5 mistakes that companies make during system implementations and how to avoid them. If you have any questions or need any further advice on system implementations, feel free to contact us at haleysolutions.com. If you like the video, click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your time.